All right, everyone. Today is the follow-up to the woods improvement project, and I definitely am not messing around. I'm ready to get this going. Please forgive any shakiness in this camera. My forearms and hands are just tight as a hide right now from doing all this chainsaw cutting, so I'll try to keep this as stable as I can. All right, here is one of the white oaks that I saved. That you can clearly see, I made it a priority cut around here. Got rid of a big sassafras, this big double beam sassafras right here. And this tree was originally being choked out by competition, so it had a very skinny top. And now it's got a wide open berth. And that tree is almost 40 feet away, maybe 30 feet away, 35 feet from this tree. So there's a big giant hole now. I still got to remove that set of trees there, and it will have a huge circumference to fill out in. This tree should start rapidly producing long limbs, and within, this is going to be long term. You're talking 10 plus years down the road, the amount of acorns this tree will produce would be off the scale compared to what was happening to it now, because it was being bottlenecked and choked out. Eventually, the tree would have outgrew the sassafrasses, but it still would have had a very skinny top. So I'm allowing way more limbs, which means way more production. And eventually it will get to the scale of these big white ones right here. So here is another issue. Just because you've cut these trees down and now you've met your goal for this tree, you're still not done. These trees are not dead. And as you can see, many years ago, this was the original tree here, and it suckered a new one. This will sucker again. So these roots are going to continue to compete with this white oak. So you need to put herbicide spray on these trees when you cut them down, and then it will release all the nutrients stored up in these stumps and the roots, and the surrounding trees, including this white oak, will be competing for what's stored in these roots. So that'll give your nut production another leg up down the road. Over here, this is where I finally just ran out of gas. I had a bunch of old chainsaw gas that was about to go bad, so I just come up here to cut down what I could before it finally run out. I've got a plan. I'm going to take out this maple and see if I can, when I cut this tree, see if I can get it fall toward about where I'm standing. And if I can save either one of these trees by doing that, that'll be a leg up. And now what I would do here, let's say this plan works, none of these trees are damaged. You've got a choice of keeping both the trees or just keeping one. I intend to keep only one. So right now, this one over here is my goal, and I'll cut this down. If everything's good, then I'll immediately cut that tree down and let that one be the dominant tree. And no herbicide spray will be put on that white oak. It'll sucker back, but by the time I put the minerals in here, I think the deer will most likely be hammering on that to keep it from growing as much. I finally removed that big dead maple snag. That was driving me nuts. So that was almost going to be my first cut, but since I had a limited amount of gas, I saved it for later. Up here is another decision that may or may not happen. This tree, this pine tree, I really wish I could remove it, but I probably do not have the permission to do so. So this pine tree will most likely get to stay, and this white oak right here may actually end up having to be cut down. I've got it marked for now. That's my backup tree. So we'll see what the final decision is on that before we finish up here. This area over here, I still got to cut at least 25, 30 more trees down, and that will be done. But there is another issue here of debris. I've definitely upped the amount of debris laying in here. By the time I start burning in February, these trees probably will not be dry enough to burn too terribly much, because this winter's been kind of wet and cold anyway. But I will go ahead and set it on fire, burn what I can, and most likely we'll probably take the tractor and maybe pile it up where I can burn it, or just well, I'll probably just pile it up and burn it. That'll probably be the safest bet to go with. But I'll remove all the fuel around this area just in case. That's why I'll set it on fire as is and let it burn what it can. Over here, I have opened up some more holes here. I didn't do as much cutting on this end. I mainly knocked down a lot of the little trees that are in here. So you can see right there all these small trees that are down. Even though that doesn't look like I've done too much here, that's actually allowing a lot more sunlight to get in. This is now a nice solid beam of light getting in here versus the stripped out shade that used to be standing there. So I'm giving this area a better chance of trying to grow some greenery on the forest floor, much like what you see in this strip right here. So as I continue to cut this down, this section here in the middle is going to open up a whole lot more, and this will be getting very close to savanna-ish habitat. Unfortunately, I can't cut down all the trees I want to make that happen. But this area here, when I'm done, will be the #1 spot for the deer to hang out in. And I'm trying to, when you're doing this stuff, this is a pattern change that you're creating. So a deer initially will probably come in here and look at what you've done because they're curious. But with this much debris laying here, they will eventually avoid this area, or they may avoid it altogether, which is what you want until you are done with your project. Because you don't want freak injuries to happen, like impaled on a stick, twist one of their hooves because it got tangled up in this piles of garbage that's laying on here. And with them staying out, it should give you free rein to come in here and get everything done that you need to. And by the time I'm ready to do this next video, this will continue to look even more unrecognizable than before. All right, everyone, just keep watching these updates, and we'll see what the long-term results of this will be down the road. You all have a good day.